So, I popped into High House Insurance to see if they could quote for my house insurance rather than using the internet. High House got a great deal. So to celebrate, I bought a posh hairdo. It made me look beautiful, gorgeous enough to become a highly paid model. I then won Celebrity Big Brother. I had an affair with an MP. Now I'm promoting a doll of me that says, "Cool blimey, you're well fit."
Happy things happen when you talk face-to-face with High House Insurance. See if we can beat your home insurance quote from the internet. Find us on the High Street, Selsey, or call 606 552.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Manhood Internet Radio. I'm Tony Weiner, your host for this show. So, what do we have for you this week? Well, we will put you out of your misery with the answers to last week's quiz, and then we go over to Keith, who is talking with a guest about lions. Now, I'm told this is nothing to do with the New Zealand rugby tour later this year, or our cuddly animal friends, so I'm really fascinated to find out about it. But after that, we have round 3 of Teresa versus Keith, and I suspect I know who will win, and then we will finish up with another brain teaser. Okay then, so let's kick off, and it's over to Keith for the answers to the last quiz.
And here we have the answers to last week's quiz when Kevin asked us, what is the chemical symbol for nitrous oxide? And that's NO. Which distress call, first introduced in 1923, comes from the French for help me? And that's Mayday. Who is Carrie's on-off boyfriend in Sex and the City? That's Mr. Big. Which island is the largest section of the Florida Keys? And that's Key Largo. And which commentator first appeared on a Test match special in 1974? And that was Henry Blofeld. And the connection is James Bond villains, Dr. No, Mayday, who was played by Grace Jones, Mr. Big, Emilio Largo, and Ernst Blofeld. Well, I hope you got all those right, and there'll be another lot for you soon.
Thank you, Keith, and now let's find out what this lion thing is all about.
Our next guest is Colin Rickman, and Colin is this year's president of the Selsey District Lions Club. Now, if you were to ask me about the Selsey District Lions Club, I'd have to own up and say I know nothing at all. I don't know what the Lions Club does, but I think we're about to find out. Good morning, Colin.
Good morning to you. Well, Lions Clubs is celebrating their centenary year. It was formed in 1917 from a person called Melvin Jones in Illinois, Chicago. He had this idea of businessmen grouped together could do some good for their community, and if they all pulled together, they could help. Now that expanded throughout the world, and it came to England just after the Second World War, when the Lions of Ontario donated some money for what was called in those days the Waifs and Strafes after the Blitz in London, where they suffered. I think it's called now the Church of England's Children's Society or something like that. Anyway, they presented the money to the Queen Mother, and she asked, well, what can we do for you in return? And they asked her to promote a Lions Club, and that's where the first Lions Club was formed. Now Selsey was celebrating 40 years and been operating in Selsey since that time, and it's been a thriving club and done a lot in the community. Lions is about helping those people less fortunate yourself, and that could be anything. That can be from anybody that's in desperate need of food or something like that, or it might be doing somebody's garden, or it could be some equipment for a particular need. To give you an idea, this year we have raised money and we've donated to prostate cancer from our golf day. We identified a need with a Seal Primary Academy where they needed musical instruments to help some of the youngsters who can't afford to buy equipment, and we donated a sum of money, which I think was somewhere around about £1,400, to buy some equipment. And it's quite nice to see how those youngsters are thriving now, and a very good rock band I'm not into the sort of music, but I did go to their assembly and hear some of it, and believe you me, it was quite loud. But the most important thing is those
They
youngsters.
turned it up especially for you.
They did indeed. I did cause a bit of a stir because I attended their assembly just before Christmas, and I promised them Father Christmas was coming especially to see them, and there was uproar in the assembly. So that leads me quite nicely to one of our fundraising things. I mean, Selsey Lions is renowned for their Father Christmas and their Santa sleigh, which goes around.
Indeed they are.
Which starts on the...
That's about as much as I know about the Lions, is the Santa Claus that comes around every year.
Well, the money raised from that is very important. It's one of our biggest fundraisers, and people do get disappointed if we don't turn up on time, or it's raining and we have to think. But we go out, whether it's raining or what, and we try to cover the area. But the money raised from that and the generosity of the people in Selsey, that money is used for everything to do with the charity or community use, or indeed sometimes we do look at international projects. But the most important thing about Lions, like charities, there's no administration cost. Every penny that we raise goes into some good cause.
That's refreshing to hear from charities.
Every
because,
penny.
I think everybody can name you a charity that have got big fancy offices somewhere, and a lot of money goes into admin, and people in the main tend not to give to them. They say,
That's right.
I'm not paying for somebody to be in a swanky office.
No.
So to hear that every penny goes into being redistributed is fabulous.
Oh, absolutely, and that is one of the reasons I joined 38 years ago, when I was quite young. Getting involved, and it was nice to know that you were working, having fun, raising money, and it was going to good causes. I mean, a lot of clubs, and it's quite varied. It would take me too long to say what goes on across the whole of the UK with the Lions clubs, but there's a lot of money raised, a lot of hospitals gain from scanners to defibrillators, all this sort of thing. It's up to the individual Lions club and their members when they decide what they're going to raise the money for, or how they're going to spend it, or what request. We help the scouts, the guides, and
I remember seeing somewhere the Lions advertising that they had a few mobility scooters. John, you're absolutely right. They had a few mobility scooters that they were lending out to people.
We've got about approximately about 30 mobility scooters.
As many as that?
It's been very successful over the years, and Lion Brian Plater, who is the person that runs that for us, he's a Lion member, of course, but he's very skillful and handyman. We get scooters donated to us, and we make sure they're really in good working order, and you get people that need a scooter that probably couldn't afford to buy one.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they give us a donation. We hope to have a donation from them, and some people have been having one of our scooters for a few years, anything from £50 a year or something. But that money then is used to help maintain those mobility scooters, and also help any other needy individual or charity that we're supporting. So it's quite a good fundraiser for us, but it, more importantly, is a good service activity.
Oh, excellent service.
You think of some people who wouldn't get out of the home, but it's great to see them being able to get out and about. Yeah. And not only, shall we say, our senior citizens, but there's some young people who've got that as well, who's had that. So it's quite important that we help these people in need. And I think that's the main emphasis of Lions, is helping those people less fortunate than ourselves.
You've recently donated some money to Snack Shack, I believe.
We did indeed. Well, this is a good example of what we're all about. Snack Shack, obviously, for the youth, which is, I believe, is one of the most important things that we can do to help the community. Snack Shack, we had a request from Snack Shack to help, and they needed their toilets refurbished, which is quite important for them to be able to keep running.
Absolutely.
And we agreed a sum of money that we would put to that, and then two of our Lions said, look, we're skilled in this. We've got a plumber, gas fitter, and another one who's very used to it. And they went in there, fitted out the new toilets, which only cost us the materials, and then we paid for the flooring to be done by the local company to put flooring down. So that was a very successful project. The money we have put aside for it, only used half of it, but it shows that we can also do practical things. But the thing is about that is, you know, when you're doing something like that, you get a great deal of satisfaction and you get a lot of fun doing something very important. So it's enabling us now to help somebody else in that same thing. So those are sort of things we do. We also do a lot with Lions are renowned across the world for sight. Not a lot of people know that Helen Keller, who challenged the Lions many years ago to be Knights of the Blind. Now, we give donations to eye camps and things like that, but around here locally we collect disused spectacles. If you have new glasses, invariably get thrown away or they get collected there. They are gathered, we collect them, and then we take them to Chichester where they're sorted and they're used to take out to the third world, which is a great thing. It's recycling in a different way. One of the other things which I think is quite important, which a lot of people might like to know, is that Lions actually come up with the idea of a little bottle which we call Message in the Bottle. You might have seen that, a little round tub with a green cross on it, which says Message in the Bottle. Now, the idea of that is anybody who's suffers any illness or on any certain drugs, which are very important, they put all the details in that pop it in the fridge, put a little sign on the door, so if they were to collapse or something go wrong, or fire brigade or the ambulance service comes along, get into the house, the first place they go when they see that is the fridge. They go there and they know what, and now we know lives have been saved for that. People can get these little bottles from the doctor's surgery, from various places, or from the Lions themselves, and we give those away completely free. Now, I know that saved lives. The interesting fact is, if there's a fire, the fridge is the last place, or the last thing that will be destroyed, believe it or not. So that's another little thing that Lions have involved.
I know where to keep my wine then. We'll keep it in the fridge.
And you put a little note in there to say, I take wine 3 times a day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But and what we do also with our fundraising, we have Easter egg raffles, we go out, have stores at the screen on the green, we do all sorts of things which we have a lot of fun doing. But being a member of Lions, it sounds like we're doing all work, but it's not. It's a group of people, male or female. It's got a bit of time they want to give. Yes, we have a formality of a meeting once a month, but we have a social every month where we might go to different places for a Chinese, Indian, or any sort of meal, or we'll have Skittles evenings, or we'll have a quiz evening, or what anybody wants to do. And we have barbecue and things like that. So we do have fun. We enjoy each other's company, and that's what it's about.
And is it predominantly business people?
No, not at all. Wonderful thing about Lions, not like some groups, which I'm not criticising them, but Lions can be anybody of any profession. Don't have to be a profession. Cross section. You know, it can be a businessman, and I know we got people from the city in some clubs, along with the postman or the milkman or somebody who's, from any group.
Yeah, so a complete cross section.
Complete cross section. It doesn't matter what you come. The main thing is you give your time and you're happy to have friendship and get out there.
And if somebody wants to become part of the Lions, how do they go about it?
Well, if they want to become part of the Lions and they want to know more, because what I can say to you today is just skimming the surface, but if you've got some time and on your hands, or you want to give something back, you can always contact me. Although I'm president this year, I'm also the membership chairman, which goes on for next year and beyond. And contact me on 0845 8339 895. And you usually can find us on Facebook or message or our website to make contact. But I stress, we would love to see some new people to give us new ideas.
Yes, indeed.
Because everything in life is evolving and nothing stays the same, so we've got to adapt accordingly. And it would be nice to have some younger people. One of the great things about Lions these days is memberships quite often are couples, and they come along and they enjoy. And I remember when I first joined, I was young, believe it or not, and I had 2 young children, and they used to come along to the events with me. So it is family friendly, and I think that's important that
Yes,
is
indeed.
about. Yeah.
Well, I personally would just like to say thank you to the Lions for being there, because I know, although I know very little about them, I do know that they do some very good stuff. And as I said earlier, one thing that sprung to mind was the mobility scooters that I know that they've got and they loan out. And long may they carry on doing such work. And if anybody out there has got some time to spare and feels that they could, just give up a little bit of time and has got any interest in the Lions, then please contact Colin, and you'll be more than welcome. And donate your time to a charity that's going to donate its time back to you. I think that's the best way of describing it.
Yep.
And thanks once again, Colin, for coming in.
Can I just do one advert?
Certainly.
Thanks and an advert, really. I think we've got to, because we know in the high street and the businesses in the town always possibly struggle, but we've had tremendous support. The Lions have had tremendous support with the Selsey calendar, which we produce.
Okay, yeah.
With the old and new photographs in there. And they've sponsored the printing of that. So they've enabled us to help. And I want to give thanks to them for helping us, and the sponsors to our minibus, because without their help we wouldn't be able to do the trips for the elderly to the cinema club and such.
Which is just another string to the bow, as it were.
Yeah. So thanks to the community for supporting us, but we would like the community to come and help us.
Well done. Well, thanks once again, Colin, and I hope it's raises some interest in the Lions and gets you some more members with some new fresh ideas. And we'll get back to you probably in a few months just to see if there was any response.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen, and well done, the Lions, who do some great work for our community. And now it's time for Keith to don his metal hat and take on Teresa and her dogs.
Right, I'd like to welcome back now my old sparring partner, Teresa Wyatt. Now, you may remember it, well, you wouldn't forget it if you've heard it before. A couple of weeks ago we had Teresa in, and she was telling us why dogs do the things they do. Well, it took us a couple of weeks to get over that, so we've asked her back to give us the rest of it. Good morning, Teresa.
Morning, Keith.
How are you today? All right.
Not too bad, yes.
Good. Now, our little chat of previously, telling us why dogs do the things they do, and you've got some more reasons why they do what they do.
Yeah, I've just got a few. There's some here that people may know, and there's some here that they may not. People often ask me these questions, so I've sort of compiled this list. Why do dogs tilt their heads? Which is one of the more endearing things that dogs do. I mean, they do look really cute when they do it. Even you, Keith. Your heart of stone.
I was going to say, I don't tilt my head, but go
melt. On. No, you're not cute.
Thank you.
But I think they do it because of the pitch, which is something we talked about earlier. The pitch will make them sort of, I don't know, because their ears are so sensitive, much more than ours, that it will slightly irritate the eardrum. I think also dogs will do it if you're very in tune with your dogs. I have a rule in my house that I will be unpredictable with my dogs. Well, And,
I think it
and
goes.
the people,
I think that goes
and
with
the people
gender,
I live
but,
with. Yeah, I'm pretty unpredictable anyway. But I think if you're unpredictable with your dog, they tend to listen to you more. They just never know what you're going to do. They don't know if you've got a handful of treats you're going to throw on the floor for them, or if you're going to throw some balls of paper out for them to play with, or if you're going to get up and do doggy dancing with them, which I do. Doesn't everyone? And so therefore...
You sure you want to put this webcam up that we were talking about before? Because if somebody hacks into that and sees you
so
doggy
funny.
dancing, well, it'll go viral anyway.
It will, for all the wrong reasons, yeah. So I think that's another reason why dogs tilt their heads. They're waiting for a command, they're waiting to see what you're going to do next. Because if you watch a pack, they will actually do it to each other. They will also do it, of course, if they hear something in the grass, like a bee or an insect that they want to jump on. So it's definitely to sort of tune in to whatever is the stimulus.
If they're hearing so sensitive, how come they seem to ignore me totally?
Well,
they don't hear what I'm saying to
you
them.
won't like the answer, but you're obviously not interested enough.
Okay, right. Moving
to
on.
the dog,
Moving
not
on.
to anyone else. You go on with the complex. Right, moving on. Why do dogs hump? Now, I know we touched on some strange subjects. They hump for all sorts of reasons. They can get very overexcited, dogs, very easily. They can go from 1 to 10 in a nanosecond. So, therefore, excitement means game on, we can all just jump on each other. Now, a lot of other dogs, of course, don't like this because they look on it as perhaps dominance, because this is the mating position. So they don't like that. They misconstrue what the dogs are doing, and it can spark off a fight. So it's best not to let your dog do it. I know a lot of dogs that actually sort of bounce off the rear end of the dog while they're playing.
My leg doesn't resemble a dog in any way.
No, but
they seem to think it does.
The other thing is sometimes you can have a very nice smell on your leg, which you don't know is there.
All right.
So they will think, oh, this is nice. You know, it smells perhaps of female or just a nice smell. And it's pleasurable to hump for the dog. Not so pleasurable for us. Do you know they actually sell...
You speak for yourself.
On eBay, they actually sell doggy humping toys. They are large toys that dogs can hump. And I'm
sitting there, folks, with my head in my hands.
I really don't like
this.
them. Because what people don't realise is they call it dry humping. And even dry humping can have an effect on the prostate of your dog. So it's not funny. Don't laugh at them. Just distract them. Take them away from it. And if you've got a persistent humper, they usually pick on one dog. And I use oil of citronelle. And if you spray the dog, many, many years ago, they used to sell a spray called Anti-Mate, which the older members of society who are listening will remember. And it's oil of citronelle, that's all it is. And if you spray the back of your dog, it disrupts the smell and the other dog will stop humping them.
I would like to explain at this juncture that for anybody that's listening, this doesn't apply to humans. So if you go dry humping the lady in the cake shop, you can't use this tape in your defence.
You'll get arrested. Right. And of course it's not good for the humpy, because the one that's being humped, because it will lower their standing in the animal pack, in the ranks. So, you know, all round, it's not a good thing to allow to happen. Right, let's go on to something else. Why do dogs dislike black dogs?
I didn't know they did.
Yep, you get a lot of dogs that will attack a black dog, and they never attack any other colour dog.
Well, I didn't know that.
And a lot of it is nothing to do with, because people say to me, oh, my dog's racial. I say, no, it's nothing to do with that. Dogs have over 100 different ways they can put their body language, their head, their ears, their eyebrows, their mouth, and to give off, you know, what they are meaning. And other dogs cannot see that in a black dog. It's sort of hidden in amongst all the blackness of the fur,
yeah, okay.
because of the way their eyesight works.
Yes. Yeah.
So that is why a lot of dogs will attack a black dog when they never attack anything else.
Ah. Well, now I have learned something.
There you say, you always learn something from me, Keith.
Absolutely.
Right, moving on. Why do dogs thrash their toys? Why do they pick them up and give them a good old shake and run around, toss them up in the air and all the rest of it?
No idea.
Again, it goes back to ancestry. What they're basically doing is killing it. It's innate in them. They are going out there to hunt, which is, it's in their DNA. And that is why I get cross with people who say, oh, I can't take my Jack Russells out because they want to kill everything they see. Yes, because it's bred into them. And if more dogs were used as ratters, you'd have less problems with rats and less problems with dogs in the home. It doesn't encourage them to be vicious. It fulfills a need. Yes, play with their toys, play tuggy toy with them, get them out there. I mean, I actually have a kill command for my Jack Russells. I'll say, kill it. And they rip up their toys or a bit of paper or whatever it is. And I have very contented Jack Russells, as you can see.
So they get upset.
Until I say, kill him! And then it's different. No, my command for kill him is sort him out.
Oh, right. Jolly good. Well, I wish you hadn't said that as soon as you got 2 dogs in there.
You haven't got a one. No, it's only my big one. I'll do that too. So, right, why do dogs lick you? Right, well, basically for communication. They're showing you that they are being affectionate with you. They lick. Lick is the first sort of sign that they have from their mum when she washes them when they're first born. Litter mates will all lick each other. And so it's sort of a natural progress that they will lick their human being. The only thing I would say is don't let it get too obsessive, because again we get back to this learnt behaviour, this obsessive compulsiveness, and it can become so much of a habit it just takes over their life. They just lick and lick and lick, and then they will turn it on themselves and lick themselves until they make themselves bleed sometimes. I've known poodles who lick and nibble until they are really sore. Saying that, if your dog suddenly starts licking their paws or part of their skin, and they don't normally do it and they're getting a bit obsessive with it, have a look at the area, because it could be a grass seed that's got embedded, or they could have cut themselves, or they could have an allergy. So, these are all signs that you should watch out for.
Well, there are another half a dozen things that I didn't know about dogs.
There you go.
Well, some of them I didn't know. Some of them I didn't care to know, but we won't go into that. But I'm sure it's of interest to dog owners. I'm not a dog owner. We all know my feelings on dogs. But there are, I guess I'm in the minority. Right. So thanks once again, lovely, Teresa, for coming in and giving us the benefits of your wisdom, because this lady knows dogs inside out. And one of these days we'll probably hear about dogs inside out. But anyway, thanks once again for coming and joining us. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Keith.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Okay, then I will let you decide who won that one. And now thinking caps on as we find out about this week's challenge.
Hello there, it's Kevin the Quiz with this week's Quiz Connection. What connects 5 general knowledge questions, but what connects all the 5 answers? Question number 1. What was the old name for the chemical element mercury? It had an old name. What is it? Question number 2. Which George Clooney film was set on a doomed fishing boat called the Andrea Gale? What's the title of the film? Question number 3. History. What was the name of Stephenson's steam locomotive that won the rail trials in 1829? Question number 4. Sitcom. What was the nickname of Captain Benjamin Pierce in America's MASH? And question number 5. Natural history. What is the largest member of the weasel family? So there's your questions, but what is it that connects all the 5 answers? Good luck.
Thank you, Kevin. So that's me done for another week, and it just remains for me to thank all our contributors, including Local Life magazine, our sound editor John Mallett, our presenters Kevin and Keith, not forgetting of course our producer John Fletcher. So it's goodbye from me, Tony Wiener, until next time, bye.